What's up? It's Glenn Farmer here, aka Keto Chef. I'm out here in sunny Cutting, California. We finally got some sunshine, so I'm out here doing a little calisthenics and soaking up some sunshine. But I just wanted to talk to you today about the ketogenic diet. I realize that I've been posting videos about food prep and the ketogenic diet, but I've never really stopped to explain what it is, okay? So I just assumed that you people like me had already looked into it, understood what it was, maybe read some of the science behind it, and had a firm understanding of what the ketogenic diet is and why you would want to do it in the first place. So I'm going to make this video for people who haven't looked into the science and don't understand why the ketogenic diet is getting so much hype. Let's talk about the ketogenic diet. What's the deal with it? Why all the hype? What separates the ketogenic diet from any other diet? Okay, what separates the ketogenic diet from any and all other diets, even similar diets like paleo and Atkins, is a state of ketosis. All right. Now, if you're doing a true ketogenic diet, you will be in a state known as ketosis, and that is where the magic happens. When you're in a state of ketosis, your body is no longer running off glucose. It is no longer deriving its energy from carbohydrate. Your body, when depleted of carbohydrate, will go into a state of ketosis. What does that mean? That means that your body is tapping into its own fat storage and breaking down that fat into free fatty acids, alpha hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate. These ketones can be used by your brain for energy and for your muscles and all of your organs. In fact, your body actually thrives off ketones. The reason why it thrives off ketones, well, you have to think about it from an evolutionary standpoint, okay? Ketosis is a survival mechanism that humans and all other mammals have. We store fat for a reason, okay? And that reason is because in nature, in the wild, without a Walmart or a Safeway, there are times of famine. There are times when we run out of food and we have nothing to eat. And if we didn't have ketosis as a survival mechanism, we would die, okay? So when your body is in a state of famine in the wild, say you're stranded out there and you have no food, after about 2 to 3 days, when your body has depleted every ounce of glycogen that it can get, that it has stored up in your muscles and in your bloodstream, it will kick into a survival mechanism, a survival state called ketosis. All right, it will shift its fuel tank from carbohydrate fuel source to fat fuel source. And where does it get that energy from? Your own fat storage. So besides starvation and being stranded in the wild with no food, the only other way to get to this state of ketosis is through adhering to a pretty strict ketogenic diet. The reason why people focus so much on the macros and the amount of carbohydrate and the amount of protein, well, there's a couple reasons for that. The carbohydrate restriction is very important because if your body, and it varies a little bit from person to person, but if your body has enough glucose in it where your body thinks it can derive energy, it will always go for that first. And if it's going for glucose and if it's breaking down carbohydrate into glucose, into glycogen for your brain and your muscles, it will not produce ketones for energy. And so you have to keep your carbohydrate restriction very, very low. So basically what we're doing with a ketogenic diet is we're biohacking a state of ketosis. Besides cutting off ourselves from all food and just starving ourselves so that we get into a state of ketosis, we're biohacking the way with this ketogenic diet. Okay, so two important things. Your carbohydrates, you got to keep your carbohydrates super, super low. A magic kind of number that will evoke a state of ketosis in almost every human being is 50 grams total carbohydrates or less. The thing with the protein, why it's so important, is because if you're eating too much protein, I'm talking like an excessive amount, let's say like 2 grams plus per pound of body weight that you have, your body, instead, because it wants to save your fat breakdown, it wants to save tapping into that for the very, very last thing. So if it has any other means to get energy before it has to go into that state of ketosis, that survival state, it will do that. And one of those processes is called gluconeogenesis. And that is when your body takes protein and breaks it into, turns it into glucose, okay? And that glucose can be used as fuel and will inhibit a state of ketosis. Alright, so why would we want to be in a state of ketosis? Why would we want to biohack our way with the ketogenic diet into a state of ketosis? What's the big deal about it, okay? You're thinking, if it's for fat loss, I can just restrict my calories on a carbohydrate-based diet and still lose fat, right? That's a possibility, okay? It happens. People do lose fat without being in a state of ketosis, okay? This is not the only way to lose fat. But there's a lot more to this diet. There's a lot more to ketosis than just losing fat, okay? And what it is the ketones themselves. It is literally the fuel of ketones and how it makes your body feel, how it makes your mind feel, how it makes your spirit feel even, is where the magic happens for me, okay? And that is what sold me on the ketogenic diet. That is why I strive to constantly be in a state of ketosis, because I literally just feel way better. And I'm talking from the cellular level all the way out. No more afternoon crashes. I wake up focused, determined. Now there's a bunch of added benefits, but the most noteworthy benefit of being in a state of ketosis is just how you feel while in a state of ketosis. And why is that? It has to be because if your body, in a survival mechanism, a do or die type state where you're starving, you have no food, and it kicks into a state of ketosis and produces these ketones, which are now giving you energy, it's do or die. You can't just lay around and have no energy and maintain. You have to kick it up a notch, all right? Because if you don't go out there and get some food soon, you're gonna die. So ketones, literally, as from a survival point of view, they're just like, they make you razor sharp focused. They make you super determined. They're just, that's the magic. The ketones are the magic. That is why we want to do this ketogenic diet. That is why, that's the magic. And until you get what they call keto adapted, which is your body's ability to break down fat into ketones, until you are in that state of keto adaptation, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. Now, the reason why people seem like so fanatical about this diet is because they experience it. They feel what it's like to run off ketones as fuel rather than glucose. And that's what the difference is, okay? And I thought for a while I was just fanatical, okay? I was like, man, you know what? What's the big deal, dude, okay? Like, why am I so against these carbs and stuff? Like, what's the big deal? I'm gonna go out and eat a fucking pizza. Like, I'll be able to get back into ketosis. It doesn't really matter. And here's the thing that happens when you go out and, like, when you're in a state of ketosis and you've been doing it for a minute and your body and your brain is used to running on ketones, and you go out and binge on carbs, oh my god. Okay, people talk about, you hear people on the ketogenic diet be like, oh, I blew my diet yesterday and I feel like crap and this sucks. And people are like, what's the big deal, man? Like, who cares? You ate some pizza, like, quit tripping. A lot of that guilt, a lot of that feeling of just like remorse comes from a physiological point. Like, you just literally at the cellular level feel like shit. Your body goes back to like using this glucose as energy, and you feel it. You feel the bog, you feel the bloating, you feel the just like lack of energy, you feel just kind of foggy. And going back and forth and seeing the difference between like being in a state of ketosis rather just being a glucose carbohydrate burner, that's where you start to realize that like this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. This is kind of the state that we as humans are kind of meant to be in. And so yeah, that is why a ketogenic diet and fitting your macros with carbohydrates and protein is so important. So like, I hope that explains a little bit about what ketosis is and why we would want to do this ketogenic diet in the first place. So yeah, there's people out there that are athletes that are not overweight in the least bit, super fit, shredded, and they are going out and doing this ketogenic diet. Now people are like, why would you want to do that? Why? You're already fit. Why are you going to go out and change up everything and make your life super complicated to have to eat the certain way when you're already fit? And the reason why is because they have talked to other athletes who have done the ketogenic diet, who have gotten into a state of ketosis, who have become keto adapted, and they watch their performance go up. They watch their endurance go up, and they would just watch them feel better. I gotta give that a try. Like, this guy's up in his game now, and I'm an athlete and I'm competitive, and I want to have that competitive edge. And being keto adapted gives you a competitive edge, even if you're not an athlete, even if you're just an office worker, or even if whatever you do, you get an edge. There's no more afternoon crashes. There's no more just foggy brain. Like, the state of depression is almost impossible to be in when you're in a state of ketosis. Like, you just can't get depressed because these ketones pretty much, like, at a hormonal level, like, prohibit it. They can't let you get into a state of depression and you sit around and be like, I'm never gonna get any food, I'm just gonna sit here and die. No, they ramp you up, they amp you up, and you feel it. And you're like, I'm gonna go out and fucking kill life. I'm gonna go out and get me some food. I'm gonna go out and do everything I have to do. And it's like razor sharp focus and energy. But yeah, that is the truth. That's why I love the ketogenic diet. That is why I constantly strive to stay in a state of ketosis, all right? And that is why cheat meals, regardless of like, I'm not gonna gain any weight, whatever, I could cheat for a day, a couple days, and maybe gain a pound or two. It's not a big deal. Besides the fat loss, besides the like gaining more weight back that I've lost through ketosis, it's not that. It's just how shitty I feel when I relapse, when I go back to eating carbohydrates. And I've played with it. I've gone back. I've eaten pizza and ice cream and just like said, fuck it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna live it up. And in doing that, I wake up the next morning and it's like, ugh, fucking hate my life. And so I'm done. I'm done with that, man. Because what I'm doing right now is I hit a plateau with my ketogenic diet, with my weight loss, my fat loss. I got to a certain point and I kind of stalled out. So now what I'm doing is I'm reducing some fat from my dietary intake, okay? Because your body, when you're in a state of ketosis, when you're keto adapted, it can take fat from two sources: dietary intake or from your own body fat. And so if you're taking in all of the fat and all of the energy that your body is going to require dietarily, then there's no need for your body to tap into its own fat stores for the energy. So I've been cutting back my fat intake, and I've already started to lose weight again. I went from 191.6 on January 25th to, as of February 1st, I was down to 185. So that's 6.6 pounds in less than a week. But anyways, I hope some of this helped you maybe get a understanding of like why people are so hyped up on this ketogenic diet. It is about being keto adapted. It's about being in a state of ketosis. It's about running on ketones and how those ketones enhance your life, enhance your brain, enhance your just well-being on a whole different level than you've ever experienced with carbohydrates. So yeah, all right, you guys have a awesome day, and I got some workout videos coming soon. I've got a couple people from the gym that I go to that are going to help me out and make some workout videos and show how we get down. So yeah, stay tuned for that. All right, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget, if you haven't, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, peace.